Hey, hey, Facebook. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's been a long time since I haven't been on Facebook. Oh my God, it's been a long time. It's been a minute, right? It has been a minute. So I'm going to try to do this live. It's going to be a long one. I'm going to take some time with this one today. I am going to catch up on all the things that I've not caught up on. So I'm going to do Wish You Happy New Year. I'm going to tell you what's been going on in my life. I'm going to tell you how I'm going to put a lot of this in books and stories. I'm going to tell you about my grandma's passing. So, good morning, everyone. First of all, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Kwanzaa. Whatever you celebrate, good morning. It's the last day of the year, and I thought what better time for me to come on Facebook and do a live. I haven't been here in a minute. And it's a lot been going on behind the scenes of my life, so I've been kind of low-keyed, um, just processing a lot of stuff. And it's been an interesting year for all of us. So you would not be upset if I said to you that, like most of you, I've been taking time out to just heal and reflect and look after my own mental health, because no matter how strong we are, we have all gone through something we've never been through together before. And as a result of that, you have to pace yourself. So for those of us who are still here, congrats, you've made it this far. It's been a rough year. And without trying to, overemphasize what we all know, a lot of people have not made it till today. I've got friends who've not made it this far this year. I've got family members, as you guys probably know, my grandmother has died. There are persons who haven't made it this far. And so I just want to say to you that you've had to be um, resilient, and somebody who has really decided to live to some extent to be here. And so I just wanted to talk this morning about the fact, thank you so much. My grandmother has died. My grandmother was 96, so she's lived a really good, full life. And thank you for your love, your support, your good wishes. And I really appreciate it. As a new year comes in, I really want to talk about, I think there's never a time when content has been so given to us. I think COVID, though it's been a very hard year, has presented us with so much content that it would be a sad reality if we did not capture this content and use this content to make sure that we are putting how we are feeling on paper, and B, we are writing history, because this is a historic moment. This is a moment in history when you and I can sit back and say that we were here. But one of the best ways to do that is to make sure that we document. And I remember doing history in Jamaica, and I remember understanding and learning about, the American Civil Rights Movement, the Caribbean history. And if somebody had not chronicled and documented that for me, I would not be able to have that to use as a person. Likewise, the schools, the universities, the colleges, and the people that have come off after us. And in the same breath, I'm wanting to say to you that you need to make sure this moment, this period that we find ourselves in, that we are documenting it, that we are keeping a record. That's the second thing. The third thing about this moment and the content that we are given is a way for us to express and cleanse where we are in our lives. And I know that a lot of people have committed suicide in this period, and may their souls rest in peace. A lot of people are struggling with their mental health, and they're really going through a hard time, a hard period. And I really believe that one of the greatest ways to chronicle what's going on, to make sure we document history, to write how we are feeling and express and cleanse, as well as to create a new income for ourselves, especially as so many of us have lost our jobs, is to write. I don't know how anybody else sees that, but I can tell you that this book has been one of the best things that ever happened to me. And many, well, I was about to say many good things haven't happened to me, and that's not true. This has been one of the best things that has ever happened to me. And I'm going to talk you through why. This has opened doors for me that I never would have had open. It became a business card. I swapped the regular little business cards for this. It is this that literally has placed me in a space where I can speak on certain platforms, where I can literally do certain contracts, where I can literally do certain things. It has enabled me. And one of the things that I really, when I realized the power of writing, whether it's a book, a story, whatever it is, a content book, whatever it is, when I discovered the power of having a book and what it can do for you, I wanted to tell the world. I wanted to teach everybody that I came across that the book is a powerful tool. And that is why I just finished the Book to Business Masterclass. I started that in June this year. And I literally in June, July, August, September, October, in 6 months, I was able to help quite a few women and a man to start their businesses from a book. And some of them have thriving businesses during the COVID lockdown. As a matter of fact, every one of those businesses, everyone was started in COVID. It was a trial. I wanted to see how does this work. I know it worked for me. And I know that I put a lot of effort into it, and I'm that dedicated person. But I thought about the people. Let me experiment and see if people write a book, can they make a business from it? And absolutely, we have just had nanny wraps. We've had the Overstayer, Gifts from Ghana. We've had Men of Virtue. Those are all we've had. Wholesome Souls Juice. Those are all businesses. I'm going to drop their Instagram links under here for those that I can find. Those are all businesses that were started in this COVID lockdown period out of working with me and writing their books. And so what I wanted to do for 2021, I wanted to literally rinse and repeat. I'm very big on that word. Rinse and repeat that strategy. So I'm dropping some of the businesses that have actually started out of working, literally. Some businesses that are with Love from Ghana. That's what, with Love from Ghana. I'm dropping the links for some of the businesses that I can find on Instagram that started out as book to business projects and have become multiple businesses, because I taught on this course, I taught my new authors, they were all new authors, I taught them how to use their books to become businesses. And so what I want to do this season for the next 12 weeks, I mean, over a 12-week period, in January, starting this January coming, January starts tomorrow, but we're not starting tomorrow. I want to work with some people who are sitting there not working, and you could be working. One, two, you're sitting there thinking, what am I going to do with all of this thing in my head? What am I going to do if you want to start your online business, if you want to start speaking, training, coaching? It doesn't matter what you're doing. Everybody who has a business should have a book. So if you are somebody who's running your multiple businesses, your small business, your side hustle, it doesn't matter. If you're running your mompreneur, solopreneur, you should have a business that is communicating that you have a book, because a book sometimes is what opens the doors for you and allow people to see what your offering is, what you're capable of doing, and what you can offer them. When Google came this year and asked me to be a speaker, and I was so honored and I'm humbled and I'm excited, and I'm not sharing it to brag or to boast because that's irrelevant. We've all realized that none of that makes sense. But I'm sharing it to show you and conceptualize in your head what is possible. When Google came this year and asked my agent, I have a speaking agent, you all, for me to speak at their event, to speak to their staff, it wasn't because I was better than anybody else. It was because Google came across my book, my stories, because through my book, I was able to speak for the British Business Bank, NatWest, Ulster Bank, all of these things. And Google was able to see that my voice is amplified, and then they zone into my message. And this only happened because I wrote a book. And so I'm a real big advocate for encouraging people to write, because I recognize that stories are important, that also in our heads we have content that we're also. Hi Christine, how you doing, girl? I love you too. Girl, we've been promising to do some work together, and we really need to do some work together. So we probably should have that conversation. We really should, Christine. I think it's time. We have no excuse. We're all at home now. We can sit down and plan. A couple of years, we're all busy moving. Let's talk. Let's talk, Christine. I'd love the conversation. And so when Google came and asked me to do a keynote for them, it was not because I was better than anybody else, because I'm not necessarily better than anybody else. It was just that I wrote a book, and that book amplified my voice, and Google happened to have seen that, and they liked the message. And so I'm here to say to you that if you are a speaker and you are a trainer and you are doing all of the things you're doing, it is time for you to write. And you don't have to come and write with me. I don't even care. I just want people to start writing. I really find this passion. There's I got approached recently, and this is very preliminary, but I got approached, and the person said, as a production house, and they said, we would love you to present a documentary for us. We saw your story and we think you're the perfect person to do this. Now, I'm doing all the research at the moment. It's very early days. It might happen, it might not happen, but that's because I had a book. I just did a recording for let me just make sure I slow down so I don't say the name. I'm coming out on a television program in the spring, proper mainstream TV, and it was because they saw my story somewhere. Right, there's this new TV program, and I went to film it. So you all, those of you who follow me, know that I don't travel. I've not traveled all of COVID, but in November I flew to Liverpool and I went to record. I was in studios. Oh my God, I have to be careful not to say it. It's on the tip. I have to make sure I'm telling my mind not to speak it and don't say it, because I would lose my contract for that. And it's because of my book. And a book is such an empowering piece of tool. And a book doesn't have to be a story. This is why I try to tell a lot of people. So some of you guys probably know that I'm just publishing my first journal, right? So I have a podcast, which I'm going to drop the link under here. I've just started this podcast out of New York called Pain to Purpose. And the podcast is really where, again, I am recycling my pain. And let me tell you something, guys. I'm so honest about my pain. Guys, I've had a lot of private pain. Okay? I've had a lot of private pain. I don't share all of my pain in public, because some of them are really painful and I can't share them. And all of us have stuff we can't share publicly. But I've had a lot of private pain. This year, I've seen a lot of private pain. I've seen friends commit suicide. I've had family issues and family drama. My daughter's mental health has been challenging in COVID. We've moved house. I've had a lot of private pain. A lot of private pain. Um, Ex-husband still giving me pain. A lot of pain, right? And I've had to deal with those privately. But one of the things that I've started to do is that I've started since 2017. I've been doing a vlog, a video diary. And my intention is that one day I will use that into a book or a documentary. Now, why am I saying all this? I'm saying all this to say to you that everything in your life has some element of helping somebody else. And so when you sit there, and I can hear some of you watching this on the replay and probably even now saying, but I don't have anything to write about. Let me clarify that. Nobody wants to hear my story. Let me clarify on that. Let me correct you. First of all, you do not need to write a book, a story about your life to write. Now, how many of you are really good at how to put on your makeup? I am rubbish at it, okay? How many of you are good at how to organize and decorate? I still haven't decorated my house because COVID happened and nobody can come in here. How many of you are good at how to paint? How many of you are good at how to speak? Whatever your thing is that people keep coming to you for deserves for you to write about. Let me take a sip of tea there. And so I say to people that if somebody comes to you 3 times and asks you, how do I do this? Therein lies a potential resource. Now, that resource could become anything. You can choose to make it a video, you can choose to make it an online program, whatever you choose to do. I think making it into a book is one of the easiest forms because the book is going to go to places that your feet may not go. And also, I believe it could be an ebook. It can be I love a paper book. I love books, right? And so you don't have to have a story once you have methods. 7 steps to putting on your makeup. 7 steps to hanging a painting on the wall, which I don't know to do very well. 7 steps to cleaning your window better. Some of you are really good at cleaning and keeping your house together in a way, and you have found some little remedies that work. You know, there's a friend of mine who taught me the other day a little remedy about how to get something off the carpet. And I said to her, why don't you put it into a book? Because how many of us have carpet stains and we don't know how to get them off? But there are people out there who have those little niggly things that you know how to do, that are your own little style, your own little discoveries. Though, and they work. Those things need to go into books. Those things need to be documented. And especially in this period where we're going more digital, I believe that everything we do needs to be documented in a way, not everything, but the things that can benefit others need to be documented. And I'm not saying that document in ways that we can then help and it can move around fluidly to others. Now, because you have a book doesn't mean it has to stop there, because that book can translate into a course, it can translate into a podcast, it can translate into a documentary, it can translate into so many places. But once you have the mitochondria, which is your book, there's so much you can do. And I'm doing a speaking engagement in February. And I know that because I signed the contract. And it was because of my books. And I remember saying to them, they say, I can't pay you all of what you should get paid. And I'm like, no problem. So let me teach you guys. This is what I teach one of the things I teach my speak and write program, or write to speak. I say to my clients, who are one-to-one clients, by the way, that when you are being booked to speak, and the people say they can't pay you the 10,000 or the 5,000, whatever your fees are, don't turn them down. Try to negotiate. So I teach my clients this. I say, and I only do speaking training with people who are one-to-one clients, because for the moment, that's what I do. I'm thinking about doing group coaching later, but for right now. And I said to one of my clients in America the other day, she was trying to speak somewhere and they couldn't pay her. She charges $10,000 for the speaking and she couldn't get the money because COVID and blah, blah. I'm like, don't worry. Don't say no. What I do every time I go to speak somewhere and they can't pay me all of my money, I negotiate with my books. I always have my books at home, a number of copies, and I always know how to get them from my publisher. And I say to my clients, negotiate with your books. So the speaking engagement I'm doing in February, they couldn't pay me what they should pay me. Understandably so. It's a difficult period. They're non-for-profit, and when they're done selling you, you feel really sorry for them, and you want to give yourself a free, but you can't. So I said to them, we're going to negotiate. We're going to take a particular payment, monetarily, yes, because money is a dignified conversation from you all. But we are going to negotiate with my books. Now, if I didn't have that book, what would I negotiate with? So I was able to say to them, you can take X number of my books. The attendees can have X number of my books. And I'm very smart. I work it out in my head, the equivalent of the difference of the fees to the number of books. Or I raise the cost of my books. Because on the back of my books, there's no RRP. Okay, there's no RRP. So when I want to raise my price, when I want to use my book to negotiate, I know that, well, it's normally cost £20 on Amazon, but I'm negotiating with you and you need to pay me for my speaking. So it's going to be £25 per book. Am I talking to somebody here? And so these are some of the things that I teach in my book courses and my speaking courses, because I really believe that now more than ever, we need to start writing. We need to start creating our own businesses. We need to start realizing that I think there's over 255 million people. Let me just Google that because I don't want to tell you a lie. 255 million people unemployed at the moment. Right? I think it's that at the moment. The number of persons who are unemployed that is not so much. In unemployment rate in the UK is 1.69 million. And this was as of December the 15th. I'm just reading on BBC right here. Okay. So if we look at that globally, let me see what that is globally, because that might be an interesting figure. Okay. So I heard somebody say, and don't quote me on this, that over 255 million people, it might not be that, I don't know the number, but there are a number of persons, there are millions of people who become unemployed. And I'm thinking a lot of you are sitting there thinking, what can I do? How can I get my hustle going? Sit down and think about what you can write about. Explore writing a book, explore writing a story, do a brainstorm, figure out what your gifts and talents are. Some of you were laid off from hospitality, but you are really good at organizing stuff. Some of you were, laid off from being CEOs, but you are really good at leadership skills. This is the time for you to start putting these things into action and start creating gradually your own space, your own future, taking control of your own destiny. And so, one of the things that I'm really prepared to do in this season is to really help a number of people write. Don't say we trust you, Christina. What did you mean, Christina? Yes, Christine. The pain, the purpose, and the promise. Hallelujah. Right? So, so right now is the moment for us to start thinking about how can we write. And that is why I'm putting together this program. I'm going to be literally saying, let's use our thoughts and create businesses with our books or our stories. Let us write and start changing the narrative. Let us think about the fact that 10 years from now, our books are going to be on those shelves and it could change a generation. It could change a family. It could change your life. Now, who is this for? I can hear some people asking, Ava, who is this for? Because I've never thought about writing. This is exactly for you. It's for you to come and explore the possibilities. It is for you to come and say, you know what? I'm going to get into the space where I'm going to think about writing a book. I'm going to come out of my comfort zone. This is something I've never done before, but I'm going to give it a try. This is for people who are thinking of writing, who have probably written before but never really published. This is for people who are thinking, I have books that I've written, I want to see if the content is together and I want to publish. So some of the services we offer are publishing, editing, formatting, proofreading, covers, everything books. I'm going to put from my website. We do everything books. So if you want to have the conversation, email me. My email address is there. We're starting this book program at the end of January. Now, some people might think, oh, well, it's the end of January, so no problem. No. If you come and you get registered early, then you're going to get rock bottom prices. It's at discount. So if you are ready to do that, please email me. Don't wait. Don't procrastinate. COVID has taught us that we have to leave our mark now. It is no longer about, oh, I'm going to do it next year, next week. No, it's a time to do it now. So until later, Happy New Year if I don't speak to you again. Please, please, please start 2021 in a different fashion. It doesn't matter what's going on, what's happening around us. It's irrelevant. I want you guys to start 2021 in a very different way and make sure that you come and write your book. The email address is there for you to send me an email. Let's have a conversation. Tag this and share this with somebody who maybe, who needs to hear this message. Somebody who this may be beneficial to. It may not be for you necessarily, because sometimes we hear messages and they're not ours. They're ours to pass along. So until later, I speak to you. God bless you. Have a good day. And whatever you do, Happy New Year.